everyone, it's Kelly Day. I'm here with artist Mischelle Davis today. I'm interviewing Mischelle because she reconnected with her art recently and did her dream art show. And I want to share her story with you to inspire all of you. Mischelle, welcome and thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you. It's good to be here. It's good to be back talking about success.
I know. And Michelle's art, I said, where's your art? Why isn't your art behind you? Because it's all in a show. She recently did her dream show that she'd been wanting to do for a long time. And we're going to talk about that in a second. But Mischelle, why don't you start and just tell everyone where you're from and a little bit about yourself?
So I originally grew up in Kentucky. I now live in Seattle, Washington. I had a long journey from here to there. I was sort of like the kid who was good at art, and that's sort of what I was known for. I did go to college on an art scholarship and was an art major for my first 2 years. But I found art school really difficult emotionally. I didn't fit the mold of what a 1980s art student looked like, at least at my school. And yeah, it was difficult. And as you know, I had an art teacher tell me that I should probably become a flight attendant instead of, yeah.
Unbelievable.
And so what ultimately happened is I changed my major to advertising and marketing and did the art as a minor. So it was like a minor in art and graphic design. And I moved to Atlanta after college and was working for a big advertising agency there as a receptionist, trying to, do my working girl thing and work my way in. And ultimately, it was sort of the right time. It was the early 90s. I ended up getting in marketing for high tech and spent 15 years doing that.
But I know that you received a lot of criticism and over your life, and that art school was kind of the icing on the cake. And then you had said you kind of lost touch with your art after 93, that when you went into marketing, you kind of got into the career and lost touch with your art. And I wonder if you always felt like that was kind of calling to you in the background. Did you?
Oh my God. Yes. And it's torture, really. It's that what if, right? Anytime I was working with creative people, artists, I would think about, could I have been them? What would it like to be on the other side? Or, as I found success and began to invest in art, especially after I got married and, we spend a lot of money on art in our home. So to walk into a gallery and be making choices of the kind of art we wanted in our home and connecting with the artist, and maybe the artist inviting us to their studio to visit because, it's a big investment in whatever that piece is or whatever, and standing there going, this could have been me.
Wow.
All the times, at a cocktail party or whatever, and somebody, my husband would say, yeah, my wife's an artist too, but in this way that, he knew that was in me too, but it was just that I didn't do it.
Right. Yeah, and I heard a lot of artists say that that's torturous to tuck their art away for so long, and then especially to see other artists doing it and they're not. So what did you
or even getting out the crayons with your kid when they're young,
Right.
Oh, mommy, you draw so good. Every piece of that is a kind of torture, right? And then if I would say, okay, I'm going to get the paint out, and I would do something, and everybody'd be like, ooh, oh my gosh. And my husband would be like, I want to hang that in the house. And then you're thinking, well, there is something there. It isn't completely lost, but then you get tied to the financial success of doing the marketing career. Or when I went to my husband's law firm, I managed his law firm and did all his marketing and his PR for 15 years and made him a huge success, right? And you feel drawn to the art, but you find it hard to walk away.
What did you try when you were starting, when that nagging in your head was getting louder and louder in the last few years? What did you try to get your art going again before we met?
Oh, setting up a room in my house, saying I'm going to start painting again, making a painting, taking over the kitchen for weeks, and then, like, it was, I've been telling people recently about this, like, it was like starting the engine on an old car, like,
Oh, that's good.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like something would happen, but then the mess would have to get cleaned up.
Yeah.
Like whatever.
Or
I
you
started
make art and you look at it and you're like, that's not that good. I think I have something better in
I
me.
know I can do better than that.
Yeah.
Walking into a gallery and going, I could do this. Right? I
Hmm.
know I could do this. I know I could do better than this, right?
So what was like the final straw that made you feel like, okay, I've got to do something. This isn't working. I've got to reconnect with my art.
It was a conglomeration of things. I mean, some of it, frankly, was menopause, right? And just seeing and getting older, my kids getting older,
Mhm.
um, other therapies that have been, traditional, like, psychotherapy, whatever, somebody saying, well, why can't you? Right? You
Mhm.
don't need to work now. Why not? Or, do you want to spend the rest of your life wondering what if? What about, what
Right.
will you have regrets? Why not try? I mean, it was just a
Yeah.
lot of that. Conversations with best friends, therapists,
Yeah.
taking a little $50 online course and,
Yeah.
or watching a bunch of YouTube videos or spending hours in Pinterest and going, God, I'm death scrolling when I really want to be creating.
Oh, yeah. And I hear that a lot from women that they're thinking about, I don't want to get to the end of my life and feel like I wasted it. I mean, I know that was a huge driving force for me. I wanted to only make sure I did what I love, because why else are we here, right? So talk about your transformation. When we met, what was it that really helped you when we started working together? What were you going through that was transforming in you, that helped you get to where you are now and do your dream show?
There was something about the things you said, when I don't know if it was Facebook or Instagram or where I was that day when I saw that little, are you a woman?
Are you a creative woman? That was probably my Facebook ad. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember it was a Sunday morning. I was having tea and it just, I don't want to start crying and babbling, but it connected. You were coming from a place that showed that you saw and understood where I was at. And I sat through that. I don't know, it was a 15, 20 minute, thing.
Class.
And then
Yeah.
I scheduled our call, and on our call, you got it. I mean, feeling heard, feeling understood. And I just said, damn it. Okay, I'm going to give it a try, like
Was it scary? Like, what was your biggest
it was super
fear?
scary, but I feeling like you understood me and you got it and you'd helped other women and that was so Kelly, that was the moment. Like I
Oh,
was, yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know that, but that was
well,
the moment when I was like, okay, and I'm going to give this a shot. I'm going to sign up for this program. This is the year where I'm going to give it, that was January. So there was also that New Year's resolution stuff in the air. Like there
yeah.
was all of that, right? So it was kind of the stars and moon aligning. And
Mm-hmm.
you showing up at the right time. I manifested you. You showed up at the right time. And then making that commitment and, taking over 2 stalls in my garage and saying, okay, I'm setting up and I'm going to start doing the class. Like you don't realize this, but it was you. Like I was scared. I felt paralyzed. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to do something. I felt like the kid on the end of the diving board. You can do it. You got your water wings on. We're right here. We'll jump in. Like seriously.
Such a
I
great
was
analogy.
right. That was me standing on the edge, looking down, going, oh my God.
It's so scary. So what were you scared of? Like, I hear this from a lot of people, like when they finally committed to their art and said, this is the year I'm going to do this, I'm going to go all in. that's when everything started happening for them. And I also know that it's a very scary moment. So what was your biggest fear? Was it like, it's not going to work? Maybe it won't work for me, or maybe my art won't be that good after all, or
They're not good enough, right? I mean, for me, it had been 30 years, 30
wow.
years. Okay. I remember the very last full painting I did, in 1993, right? And it's hanging up in my parents' house, right? I remember that 30 years of nothing. Was I as good as I thought I was? Did I remember correctly? Was I as good as other people used to tell me I was? Or were they just talking nice to me because I was a kid and, they were being encouraging, what was there? Did I really need to be, the flight attendant that, he
Yeah,
who
those
shall
things
not be
stick in your
named
head,
said?
don't they? Those comments, they
Those
stick
things,
in
they
your head
stick
and
in
they're
your head.
hard to get out of there. Like,
Oh.
should I really be a stewardess? Was there something to do that? So tell us about now. What's happening now? Like, you did the work, you put in the time, you went so far beyond just painting. You like built your confidence and your know-how and all that, and how to make professional quality paintings. But tell everyone about now. I mean, you just did your dream show. You
My
created a
first
whole
show, yeah.
series of paintings. I'm sure everyone would be inspired to hear what happened in the last 6 months.
Well, so the goals we set, because we set this as a goal, it would be a goal you and I talked about in our individual coaching calls, something I would talk about in the group. I'm going to have a show at a winery this summer. It's going to happen this year. Right. So toward the end of the program, I started doing wine themed stuff because my idea was no winery can say, anybody can say, well, we don't like your stuff, or that's not the kind of stuff we want to hang up here or whatever. But if it's all wine themed stuff, that's going to make a heck of a lot harder for them to say no. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just decided I was going to do nothing but wine themed stuff from the time I ended the program, somewhere it was like March, until Memorial Day. So where the show is in Chelan, Washington, which is kind of like the Napa Valley of Washington State, but I live in Seattle, right? Or Bellevue, right outside Seattle. So, but we live here in the summer. Right. So I just worked on wine themed stuff within that theme. As I was telling you before the call, I found some freedom because when you're not like, what should I paint? Like subject matter wise, once you say, all right, I'm just going to paint 100 wine bottles between now and whenever, then it frees you up to explore creatively, stylistically, methods, applications, tools. You can just explore in there. So,
and you booked your show, right? You got accepted into your vineyard, right?
Yeah. So I picked like a top 5 or 6, but I had a number 1 that I was choosing for their social media, for the venue, for the wall space. And I just showed up there unannounced one day and said, hey, have you ever thought? And had a truckload of wine.
Wait, I got to interrupt you. I'm sorry, but I have to ask you, would you have been able to pull a move like that last year?
Hell no.
Because that is a bold move.
Bold move.
I love it. I love it. When they finally said yes and you hung all your art and had that opening night, how did that feel?
Oh my God. I was over the moon. It was surreal. It was surreal too, because I had a month from when they said yes till the show went up too. Right. So you also have that whole month where you're like, is this really happening? Oh my God, now I got to create more stuff, that whole thing. Right. But here's the other thing is I've never had a show before. They've never heard of me. They don't know who I am. They do a show. They hire a guitar player who's in the corner.
Oh, he was really good. I saw the video.
Yeah. And, they pushed it through the Chamber of Commerce because lots of people, the tourism. My son's working at a hotel here this summer, and every week the Chamber puts out this thing that shows the calendar of events for the whole area. My son brings it home one day and he's like, Mom, there's you.
So
Like that.
Do you
I did.
feel like an artist now? Do you feel like a
Oh
real?
yeah, I did a radio interview to promote it with the local, chamber does it, just all this stuff. So you start, and then you're just like, and that part of you that feels like the imposter syndrome, when it's really happening, somebody likes my stuff enough to do this, enough to promote it, enough to, right?
Mhm.
It's hard to feel like an imposter. And then the days that we spent 2 days hanging the stuff, right? Like, I mean, I must have spent like 10 hours there because what should go here? What should go,
Right? That's the fun part,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh. And then you're just like, is this really, really? And then all, your friends show up and people show up, random people walk in. When somebody random person walks into the gallery while you're still hanging the stuff and it goes, wait, you're going to sell this stuff? I love that one. How much are you going to charge for that? Like, and the stuff's not even on the walls yet. It's
Yeah.
just so crazy. It feels so good.
Congratulations,
So
Michelle.
good.
I'm so incredibly happy for you. And I'm so like excited that I got to see the journey of you dreaming it and then you actually doing it. It's
I couldn't
congratulations.
have done it without you. You and the class and the group. If I hadn't taken your class, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I had this goal coming in, because I said that when we had our, interview or whatever before I even joined the class, but it wouldn't have happened if I hadn't joined the class. It wouldn't have happened.
Aw, well, I want you to know I have just been feeling like I've been right there with you. I know how important this was to you, and it's just incredible to see you work so hard and then pull it off, Michelle. Thank you. What would you tell people who are feeling the way you did, like their art was tucked away and they want to get it out, and who are on the fence with doing the program?
I'd say Kelly understands, and not just from a place of, like, oh, your teacher understand. I mean, you understand because you lived it. You understand because you lived it. You understand because you've helped other people through this journey. It's so positive, so positive. And there's more than just because, ultimately where my style is landing is so different from yours and different from the other people in the group too.
Which is a good thing, yes.
Which is a really, really good thing, right? The program wasn't about the output of the stuff, although the exercises we went through and all the work that we did, like, I mean, I apply and think about those things every day when I'm painting. The push it, sacrifice the good for the great, I mean, all these things that we said all the time, they mean so much.
So Michelle, where can people see your art?
Okay, so MischelleDavis.com, MischelleDavis.com, MischelleDavis.com. Right now, my show's at Sigillo Winery in Chelan, Washington, and it's going to be up there until September 6th. So from July 19th to September 6th.
So exciting that you're finding your true voice. You've done your dream show and you feel like a real artist. I mean, wow, that's incredible. So
yesterday, by the way, Kelly, I didn't even tell you this. Yesterday, I deposited my first check in the bank for the first time.
I love it. If you're out there and you are feeling what Michelle did for the last 30 years, that calling of missing your art and wanting it to come alive and having that dream that you want to have happen and that expression, you can reach out to me like Michelle did in January. And what I do is I offer an art breakthrough call, and you can jump on the phone with me and we'll talk about where you're stuck, what you need to move forward, and what your dream is for your art, like Michelle's dream. And if I can help you get there, I'll show you what that looks like. So you can book that call with me at kellydayart.com/booking. Kelly is with an IE, kellydayart.com/booking. Please do not book a call with me if you are just looking for free information. These calls are only for women who are ready to commit to their art now and invest in their art and put in the time. And if that's you, I would love to talk with you like Michelle did. Michelle, thank you so much for being here. I know this is going to inspire so many other women that they can do it too.
All about you, sister. Thank you.
All right. Well, we will see you guys soon. Leave a comment. Please tell us if this inspired you. And happy painting. Bye. Bye, Michelle.
Bye.
See you soon.
All of that. It's so huge. You do not know. You do not, or maybe you do. Maybe you do. That's why you're doing it.
Well, I'm just so happy to hear all this, like that it was so transformative for you. And yes, I see it every day, but I did it myself, Mischelle. I mean, that's why we're all here, because I had to work through all this too. So I totally feel you. It's not an easy journey. So I love that you found the kind of art you want to paint. That's what this is all about.
Yeah.